Hey houseplant friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a big ol' smile on my face because we are actually collabing with one of my favorite internet houseplant creators, Emma from Good Growing. I have been obsessed with her content lately. I'm just like putting it on all of the time, like when I'm doing plant chores myself. So she doesn't know, but we've actually hung out before. I'm obsessed with her influencing videos, the de-influencing and the I've been influenced videos. And so actually, after you watch this video, or maybe you're not into the hot takes video and you just want to go watch her video, it'll be up on her channel right now, and it is in influencing each other. So I'm gonna try to influence her with some plants I know she doesn't like, and she's gonna influence me with some of her plants. Go check that out. But before we get into this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Maybe you've been binge watching my videos and you just forgot to hit that subscribe button. Welcome to the community. I also have YouTube channel memberships, which you can check out, and I have a Discord, which is required reading. You must join it, and it's discord.gg/PlantingAshley. Okay, let's get into the hot takes. Emma, why don't you start? And how hot are they?
I'd say they're pretty piping. They're good, and I know people have different opinions to me on these ones. I'm hoping they are spicy enough. If you're familiar with my channel at all, you might have heard me say this before. Anthurium hybrids pretty much all look the same, and they cost way too much.
This is on my list.
It's true then. It's so true.
It is. They actually all look the same. I have this joke on my channel where whenever I see Anthurium, like two different ones at the same time, I'm like, haters will say they look the same. But I'm the hater.
I'm the hater too. Because like you can get the Clarinervium, and the Clarinervium is great. It's nice and cheap and cheerful. Like, and then you can get something that looks exactly the same, but it's like £5,000, dollars, whatever. Can you do the like
this is
influencer hand
something.
thing? Okay, that's like
whatever.
They can be cute. I'm not saying that they're not like
no
nice
one's saying
looking
they're
plants.
ugly, but they all do kind of look almost exactly the same.
Yeah, and like if you like from an untrained eye, like if I hold this up next to a Clarinervium to my husband, he'd be like, why do you have two of the same plant? And like, they're not the same, but they're also kind of exactly the same.
Oh my gosh, dude, there's so many good dupes. I want to make a dupe video soon.
Oh.
Like, if you like this plant, like this one's cheaper or something.
Yes, do that. That'd be such a good video to do.
I don't want to be mean. I'm so worried to upset people's feelings, but I'll just share. Okay, I added this one to my...
Let's put a disclaimer in. Just be like, by the way, this is all in good
Warning,
fun.
You might get offended. But that's kind of the point, I fear.
It's all in good fun. We're just having a little giggle.
This one, and I have done this before, dead cutting your plants is a form of neglect of your plants.
Is that when you just,
know what I mean by
chop
that?
it, like just top the top bit off?
No, you just cut without air layering it or giving it any kind of like help before you cut it.
You think it's a form of neglect?
How many times have you dead cut a plant and only 50% of your cuttings make it?
Oh yeah, like all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And I've done that before too. I'm not saying I'm impervious. My specific pet peeve is when people do this with the Philodendron Ilsmanii, because it is so difficult to take care of, and it is almost impossible to root. So what people will do, back in 2020, Emma, they would take their Ilsmanii and they would dead cut these nodes with like these little leaves on them, and then they would sell them for like $4,000.
Thousands and thousands.
And they would never live. Ever, ever, ever. There was this one guy specifically who would do this in the Ilsmanii Facebook group. I think it's ironic when people would cut it, or Spiritus Sancti, like things that have really tight internodal spacing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why did it die? I'm like, oh, I wonder. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who could have seen that coming?
The problem is I am so guilty of it. I can't shame anybody on that because I do it all the time.
Yeah, I did it to my shake the other day because I just was kind of over it, and I was like, you know what, I don't care. That's my hot take. That's one of them.
So I thought of another one while you were talking about that.
Okay, cool.
That I can add in here. Plant prices have gotten way too high. Not necessarily lately. So obviously back in like 2020 when there was like the whole freaking craze and everything was like a bajillion dollars. But they're still like, they got too ridiculously high. I feel like no plant should be costing thousands for a tiny little cutting. That's ridiculous. Like I remember back in the day, do you remember Cebu Blue?
Yeah, I do.
How
do
like
remember.
A single cutting of that would be like $100 for like a 2-leaf cutting of a pothos. Like an epipremnum baby plant. That is just, and like the variegated variegated Raphidophora tetrasperma for $12,000 for like
those
a
are
2-leaf
still
cutting.
so expensive. They're not that expensive, but they're still like a couple $100 at least in America on Facebook groups.
They've gone down a lot here now, but like I just don't understand because that's such an easy plant to like chop and prop. It's ridiculous that people are charging that much for them. Still, I do not understand it, and I know it's just like supply and demand. Obviously, if there's a massive demand and not very much supply, you can like charge whatever the heck you want. It blows my mind and it makes me feel sad.
I have two different opinions on this, and they were. You know how they say there's two wolves inside of you? The most expensive plant I ever sold, I sold it because I needed to pay rent, and it was sad, and I wouldn't have done it, and I wish I still had it. It's definitely a little tough when I remember that I used to sell one node cuttings like in 2020 of like Hoya Bella LeBois, the internally variegated one.
Yeah.
For like $95 each, like one little node. And that was cheap. That's the worst part. Like that was like the lowest price. Because I'm one of those people that sellers hate, I fear. I'm like, I just want it to sell, so I'll just list it for like half of what other people are listing it for. And they're like, you're gonna bring down the market. And I'm like, oh, that's like, it's the point.
I do the exact same thing.
That's almost like it's the point.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Obliqa Facebook group in 2021? They were plotting to withhold Obliqa because it was becoming so widely available. Yeah, it's something
ridiculous.
Just like that happened recently again. Like the big Alocasia Facebook group, all these sellers were plotting. And I don't know if they're gonna do it or not because I'm not in the group. I heard from one of my friends, Maddie. Yeah, they're plotting to like withhold. And by the way, Alocasia, so expensive. The corms themselves, and I might be wrong. It might be the Maharani. I can't tell them apart, honestly. Mellow Maharani look the same.
It's a parent plant. So the Mellow is actually a parent plant of the Maharani. It's parented with the Black Velvet, and that's why the Maharani has the lighter veins like a Black Velvet does. Fun fact.
I need to look at them together. I need to look at them next to each other.
Okay, I can get a variegated Mellow corm only for 167 pounds. $200.
America could never. They're like 300. My friend just got one. She got a deal on one that was like doing really badly. It's like a main plant. And by the way, after she bought it, the seller took liberty and chopped off a part of the main leaf, and the plant only had 2 leaves. You know, they're like this big. They don't get that big, I guess. Yeah. And it was so beautiful, but it was starting to yellow, and the seller just, after she paid for it, chopped off the yellow part without asking her. And then they were like,
liberties.
Oh, I know. And they were like, oh, I'll send you some extras to like make up for it. And so she was like, oh, okay, I guess that makes it okay. And guess what the extras were?
What?
Stickers.
You have got to be kidding me. That is ridiculous.
I'm not doing stickers, bro.
Yeah, this will make up for it. Let me just stick these stickers on my cut up Alocasia leaf and then it'll all be fine.
Honestly, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my life. The 2 wolves. I just went on the biggest tangent ever. While I definitely profited from it and like it helped us in our time of like need when I was going through some mental health stuff, my husband was like getting a different job. I definitely think it's crazy that plants can ever be that expensive, especially because they just grow. Plants are one of the only things that you can, like, one of the only hobbies that you can be in. It's like, oh yeah, I'll spend money on this, but then I'll make that money back when I propagate and then sell it, which is crazy because you can't do that with a book. Like, you buy a limited edition version of like Plated Prisoner and it's signed and it's like an owl crate box or something, and that's like $500, and you can't rip those pages out and then go like get your money back. So I think
can you
that's
imagine
a big
selling
reason.
the pages for more than you bought the book for? Like, that's just so ridiculous.
Ripped page. Yeah, dude, I think that's a huge reason why people justify it. Like, I almost think it's like, it's a little culty when you're working in a place and it's like, oh, well, the people who came before me had to deal with this kind of like click thing, and so now I have to do the same thing as they did.
It's just toxic.
But it's ridiculous.
And I feel like I'm very similar to you as well. Like, I have just sold a bunch of my plants, and it was like I ended up selling like 15 plants in a box, including a variegated monstera, which had like a bajillion. It was like I had chopped up my big plant, and so I had stuck them all in the soil, and so they were all, I swear there was like 15 cuttings inside one pot, and they were all rooting, all growing really well. I sold the whole box of plants for 50 quid. One, I don't need them. I'm so lucky that we're in this position that we can get plants for free. On occasion, yes, I do buy the majority of the plants in my home. I'm not in it for the money. I'm just like, I'd rather somebody get it. Like, I kind of want to, I'm that person that's like, I'm going to break the cycle. I want them to be cheap so you can get them for cheap and so everyone can have a good time. Like, yeah, that's what I want. It just sucks that it becomes this, like, classist almost. You can't be poor and have an Ilsamania because where are you going to get it from? You can't buy it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, make it make sense.
It's literally breaking the code of your brain. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, I can't do this anymore, all right?
just seeing the value difference, it just doesn't feel worth it for me, and you probably feel the same way. Like, I would rather save all of the plants I don't want and then like either give them away to friends or like subscribers.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of plants right now I'm like propagating specifically for doing just like little giveaways in my Discord or for like members. I have a hot take.
Hot topic.
Okay. I toe the line with this one because I don't like how my opinion about it makes me feel. I don't think that tissue culture plants are on par with their parent clones, like who they were cloned from. And the reason for this, and I don't feel this way about everything, I actually prefer tissue culture gloriosum. I have 3 of them. Whenever I see them, I'm like, what a pretty little bush. You're just like a little bushy baby. One plant I despise but still have 2 of because lately I'm like really into them. Thai constellations. They grow so slow and they're a man-made plant.
Yeah.
Human created, stable variegated monstera.
But I'm obsessed still, so it doesn't matter.
They grow really slow, and that's not because of the fact that they're like kind of variegated. It's because of the fact that they're tissue culture. And tissue culture plants generally grow way slower. They look completely different in some cases. For example, now that the Spiritus Sanctis, like the tissue cultured ones, are reaching maturity, almost none of them that I've seen have red abaxial leaves. They're just green, which is insane because they're supposed to be identical. Like, they're complete genetic replicas in most cases, but then you have like the backs of these sancties are green and not red, and so that's like, and some of them
just
grow
a whole
faster.
different plant at that point.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's still pretty, but I don't know if you guys have seen the Pink Princess tissue culture versus like the original ones that are like back from like 2019, like the actually variegated philodendron erubescens are green and pink, and these new ones are like brown. They're like brown and pink because back in 2020 everyone was obsessed with dark cherry Pink Princess. So that's what got tissue cultured, but now it's just muddy and gross, and I'm frustrated because I like a Pink Princess, but they all look muddy. Like, you kind of just like spilled some dishwater on them and just never wiped it off.
Yeah, I feel it's difficult because like it comes back to like the accessibility thing, and like I find that tissue culture it makes the plants so much more accessible. So it's like I've got some variegated alocasias that are tissue culture. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm not sure whether or not also my cat is moving our whole table.
Hello.
Do you want to say hi?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
This
Little
is Cleo.
baby.
Because it makes it accessible, like, I think it's a good thing. But if it is, like you're saying, making the plant be a completely different thing, that's not worth it. They shouldn't be putting things on this sort of high price tag that they have been, because it's not the same. But I guess you can't know about them not being the same until they are, like you said, becoming this mature thing. And so it's taking years and years and years to figure out whether or not that is a thing. It's just...
It's frustrating because the accessibility and also the preservation, right? Like, there are so many of these plants that were literally going extinct that have been tissue cultured into oblivion, and now there's 5 billion Spiritus Sanctis everywhere in every country, and they're just like, you can't get away from them. They sell them at my local pet store right now.
What?
That's nuts. I know. Yeah, it's called the Zamzo. So the Ilsamanii, the most popular variety of this is the Kunzo Ilsamanii, which originates from Japan, and it's from Kunzo-sama, and he's so sweet and wonderful, and actually if you comment on his Instagram photos, he will comment back, and he's such an absolute sweetheart. He has these Ilsamanii, which are like the most popular Ilsamanii you can get, I think, next to the Joe Palm Ilsamanii, and then also the Australian Ilsamanii. When you say you have a Kunzo Ilsamanii, right, when you're selling, that is like a prestige. That's like, I got this from Kunzo-sama, it's a real Ilsamanii. Tissue culture has been incredibly prevalent with the Ilsamanii, which is great for bringing down prices. But the philodendron Ilsamanii is already an incredibly difficult plant to grow and especially propagate. And I actually just fell victim to someone selling a tissue culture Ilsamanii. And when I got it, it was in the worst shape I've ever seen. It was also like microcosmic, like it was like this big, and it had like 5 different branches, and I have never seen an Ilsamanii grow like that. And I did send it back because it was like rotted and dying. Like there was other problems with it.
Didn't have blight on it as well?
Yeah, it had blight all over it. It was like,
ridiculous.
Honestly, I cried. There's a pretty popular plant store right now, like an online plant shop, and they're selling Kunzo Ilsamanii, but then they just posted a video from their tissue culture lab about it, and I was like, Bro, like, the Kunzo Ilsamanii tag is no longer even safe.
Okay, I feel like your hate is justified. I can agree with that now. Okay, this next one. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I know you disagree on this one, Ashley.
Okay.
Fluval is dumb and a waste of money. I said it.
Oh my gosh.
It costs so much money. I meant to look up how much it costs before this video, but like it costs so much money for a little bag. Literally everything I have put in it has died. Like what? Like I must be doing something wrong, but I feel like I'm following the instructions that literally everybody else has given me. Just use perlite or like sphagnum moss instead. Like why do we need why do we need it? Like how is it so magic? I don't understand. I don't understand.
So when I was watching your videos before, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like with some plants, you really like the ritual of like really taking care of them. But what I get from your vibe, and again, this is like my incredibly limited, is that you seem to like it when plants can almost take care of themselves. So you don't want to have to check on all of them all of the time because you have so many of them.
Well, it'd be ridiculous if I did. I wouldn't, like, I know it's my full-time job and like that's all I do. But at the same time, I wouldn't be able to make videos if I had to check on my plants all the time.
And so this was what I was trying to think about, was how do you get around how expensive it is? Because it's $17 for like a little bag about this big. I think it's like a 1 pound bag or something.
Yeah.
It could be more than that. I didn't check, but I know it's $17 in my location. So what are you putting in it, I guess?
So I've tried it with mostly cuttings. I know people have like banged on about it for alocasia corms. So I've tried it. Have I tried it? I don't know. I've tried it in a couple different ways. Mostly for cuttings, and like I did a whole like propagation test where I got the same exact plant and I tried it in Fluval and Perlite and sphagnum moss. Cut up the same exact plant and put them all in the same location, was giving them water like whenever they each individually sort of needed it. I did some that were open, no lid, and I did some that were lidded because I've seen people do it both ways. Literally everything that went into Fluval either rotted fully or just didn't grow roots.
What genuses are you putting in there?
Oh my god, I don't even remember.
Was it just alocasia?
So I don't think I did corms. Maybe I could try corms again, but I'm pretty sure I did like epipremnum or something like really easy that I knew I could propagate.
So I have limited experience because I'm recently converted. I've had a couple of cuttings, and specifically Hoya. I only have Hoya. My friend recently giving me some cuttings when I got back into plant, and she put it in stratum, and then I went to Arizona to visit my family, and when I came back it had 4 new leaves, and it was a fresh cutting when she gave it to me. And I was like, I was only gone for a month, what are you talking about? Oh well, like I just had it in stratum. And I was like, what do you mean? And so she told me about stratum and like how you take care of it, and it's a very involved process. You usually have 2 cups, one small little cup with some stratum in it, a hole in the bottom. You put that in another cup, so that way when you water it, the water goes into the stratum, moistens it, but then it comes out. So that way it just stays moist, but you don't actually get the stratum like wet. I guess something with like the rock and like the minerals in there, it can like cause your plants to like not do good. So the stratum is just kind of like a means, almost like moss. Like you get the moss wet, like moist, but you don't want to put like moss into a cup of water and then like a plant in there. So it's a very involved process, but my Hoya love it. I've literally never had like plants that I used to keep in a giant terrarium in 2021 in perlite because I was a perlite fan. They never grew ever. I would like fertilize them, I do everything, and I could not figure out. But now I just have them in a jar in some stratum and they're growing at an expedited rate. So
well, stratum does have nutrients in it inherently. Like I think that could be part of it.
Perhaps.
I know people who do like semi-hydro no drainage, but they'll put a layer of stratum on the bottom, which obviously is not its intended use, but it works because then if you don't fertilize it every time, your plants will still be getting nutrients. And so like that's how I've heard it works quite well. And I did do that for my Warquianum at one point, but like it does inherently have nutrients. And so I think that could be why your Hoyas are like now succeeding. With the perlite, it wasn't necessarily holding the nutrients in through fertilizer as well as you might have wanted it to.
With the perlite, I'll say my big problem with perlite, and the reason I actually haven't bought it again, even for my pinguicula, I have a different, like I use a completely different bog medium. I despise more than everything. By God, when you open up a bag of perlite, it's just all in your face, and I'm like, I need to wear a mask. What am I like?
You're supposed to.
Oh.
You're supposed to wear a mask. You're not supposed to breathe perlite dust in. It is bad for you. It's like little like glass shards, almost. Or you're supposed to wet it first so it doesn't just dust off everywhere.
Let me just pour some water into my perlite bag real quick.
Sorry to burst your bubble
well,
there.
good to know. Yeah, you know, it
Long
makes sense.
time
I
knowledge.
did, because it was during COVID, like COVID times, I would put on a face mask while I would do it. But I was like, man, this is annoying.
Oh my god, yeah, I hated it.
So
when I was
annoying.
doing sulfur treatment and my patrons were like, you should wear masks and gloves, and I'm like, I'm in my really hot bathroom and I'm spraying down on my plants. I don't want to be like head to toe PPE just to take care of my plants. Like, that just makes it so much less enjoyable for me. Let me just live my life.
It's like $9 for a bag of perlite, but it's like, I guess, really involved. I just kind of put through on a little face mask, like a cheap one. I think that for a couple plants, like, I would not go full stratum. Just like I wouldn't buy self-watering pots. I have one self-watering pot and it's in this plant. It's got Hoya in it and it's got Pon. And it's in a self-watering pot, and it's something a friend traded me. The footprint of those is just so big, and what I like about stratum is, like, it's just super little, and it's very, like, I think the Hoya roots like it because they're so close together. It's almost just like a bunch of little molecules, and you just get it wet, and then the Hoya roots just grip it really nicely and just kind of, like, vine through it instead of, like, the bigger perlite chunks. Or even moss. I think moss keeps Hoya too wet. They'll grow in water.
And then detangling moss from Hoya roots is literally, like, the most worst thing ever. Sorry, that was a terrible grammar, but you know.
No, that was so great. Most worst. Maybe you should try it for Hoya and see how it goes.
Yeah, so I think I'm tempted to try it for Hoya, and I should probably try it for alocasiacorms as well. I do have, like, the tiniest little pot of it, because I also got it through a friend, because I was like, I don't want to spend frick tons of money on, like, a big bag of it if I don't know if I'm going to like it.
It's
so
a cult,
I traded some tree fern fiber
like,
for some Fluval, and so I was like, this is perfect, because I can, like, we can do this trade, and I don't have to spend the money on it. But I should probably just give it a go again, now that you've explained to me the method.
I think a lot of plant care is pointless for the plants, and more so just for the person to feel like they're taking care of something.
Like misting.
Yeah, I was gonna say misting and moisture meters. I think that they're good, right? I think it's good for new plant parents to be able to, like Jenna Marbles in her video, like, has made them so popular, because she'll just, like, you know, and that's such an old video, but she'll just, like, just wake up in the morning and go stick my moisture meter in the plants and, like, find out if they need water. But moisture meters, like, people will overwater their plants when they use them, because they're really meant for outside soil.
Use a chunky soil, like a nice aeroid soil, they don't do as well because there's not as much contact with it, and so, like, obviously that makes sense. I struggle with moisture meters because I did find them so incredibly helpful at the beginning of my plant journey. Like, it was just, you're still learning about how to take care of things and when to water them, because before this I would be, like, overwatering my cacti because I don't know what the frick to do. And so, like, having that as something that kind of tells you whether or not you're, like, on the right path, or, like, if I'm having a plant sitter come over and, like, take care of my plants while I'm away on holiday, it's so useful because I can be like, okay, stick this thing in, and if it says it's wet, do not water it. So I can see how.
Do you feel like that's better than telling people that if the leaves are droopy?
Well, you don't want to let most of your plants get to that point, like, especially with things that are, like, classically known for that, like the peace lily obviously is known to be something that faints, and, like, the Fittonia. Nerve plants, they're known to faint, but if you let them do that too frequently, it can cause permanent damage to your plant, and some parts aren't going to actually bounce back. Syndapsis, and like my pothos, I will always use, like, okay, the leaves are curling a little bit, time for me to water, cool. Or, like, I'll stick my finger in the soil. But I definitely think for some things, you don't want to let them get to that point.
I used to water really sparingly because I didn't like fungus gnats. Like, I still don't. I still hate them.
I mean, who likes fungus gnats?
And they're putting in the work. I would actually always let my plants get to the point to where they're physically drooping before I water them, just because it helps eliminate gnats. But I don't do that right now, and I see the difference with the gnats, but I also see way more plant growth. But I'm also not using a moisture meter.
Yeah.
Like, I do kind of like a weight test, but I also have years of experience.
Yeah.
So, and, like, I can kind of keep track in my head because I don't have, like, I have a lot of plants. There's these, and then there's some in front of me, and then there's some in the other room, but, like, not so many that I can't just, like, keep track of my brain.
Yeah, I think more so, like, misting, that's a whole myth. That does not boost humidity in your plants. And, like, yeah, if you're going around, like, instead of misting, go around and wipe your plants' leaves of dust instead. Given I hate doing that, I hate dusting.
That's so much more beneficial.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But, like, it'll actually do something and help your plant as opposed to misting. And so it's like, if you're trying to take the time and spend time with your plants and take care of them, like, do something that's useful.
That would actually be such a good video idea. Like, things that you do for your plants that are, like, useless versus things that, like, actually help out your plant.
Do it.
Have you ever tried misting a tortum before? A philodendron tortum? Or not misting, sorry.
Dusting?
Like,
oh my god. Yeah, I freaking hate it. It makes me want to die. Yeah, I know that's an over-exaggeration, but it does. I hate, like,
oh my god,
so annoying.
What pathos.
Well, so I got the dusting gloves. This is a tangent, but I got the dusting gloves, and that has
Me
been
too.
a lifesaver. It makes it so much easier because then you can kind of do it with your hands, and you can like really feel whether or not you're like really screwing up the plant.
The misting is, you've kind of changed my mind about the water meter, moisture meter.
I think it can be useful. It can, and like it's not perfect.
I think it can be useful.
Also, there have been so many like really cheap ones sold on Amazon that just don't work. So my next one is that many collectors have more plants than they can take care of properly, myself included. Hence why I've been downsizing so extremely heavily over the past couple of months. I think so many people have way more plants than they can take care of, and it is detrimental to the health of their collection.
I want to add to your hot take, and I want to say that most plant collectors that collect like that are actually hoarders.
Or are addicted to shopping.
That's true. That's also so true, shopping addiction. I used to make so many videos about that when I was like coming out of the haze. Like I think it was in 2023, I was making so many PlanTEA videos about
addiction.
Is like plant collecting actually just hoarding, and your shopping addiction is like ruining your life.
Yeah. Well, so it's difficult because it is a hobby and it is something where you can collect things and you do want to collect a lot of things. So like I get it. It can be to the detriment of your collection because if you have so many plants on a shelf that you're losing some at the back and you're not watering them as often, or you're not noticing that it has a pest problem or some sort of fungal or bacterial issue, that is going to cause more harm long run to your whole collection because you're not able to see these things and you have too many to take care of on a regular basis.
You have an inability to get rid of things, but also you continue collecting to your own detriment. And obviously that's like a sliding scale. And respect everyone's choices almost. Yeah. But
I mean, I
agree with you.
I am the problem in this one as well. I think it got to the point where I had too many and I was genuinely struggling, and like I had to move some plants around because we got a new kitten recently, and so I had to move and make a cat safe space, and so I had to move some big plants out of my bedroom. He could just have a space where he wasn't gonna like eat something and kill himself, so I had to move stuff around, and I'm like, I have nowhere to put things. Every single surface in my whole home is filled. Set me into an absolute anxious spiral. And so that's when I started like realizing that like I need to get rid of some. That was kind of my breaking point because I was so stressed out about all of this, and it was like I would just be like sitting looking at my plants like I don't know where to put them. I can't do this, and like
also you're sad because like you don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah. But like also there's probably plants that you don't love in there.
If you were honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Do you actually love all of these?
If it's a maybe, it's a no. You're gone. Get out of my house. Leave. Put it outside on the sidewalk and someone might pick it up.
Yeah.
Free. As long as it doesn't have pests or like any sort of issues. If it does, maybe put a label saying this has pests, please rescue me.
I think that loosening a plant's roots when you're repotting them is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. I wouldn't, maybe not the worst thing you could do.
I think it's terrible because people, that's like one of the first things they tell you to do. It's like, you know, you're taking a plant out of the nursery pot, you just bought it, right? It's in a shitty little pot. Take it out, fuck up the roots like a ton. And then like some people get rid of all the old soil. And this is totally a preference thing. But then they're like, I just repotted this plant. Why is it doing bad? It's like, when you repotted it, did you just upsize the pot and then kind of like, you know, give it a gentle massage, you know, just like a little bit of massage? But did you destroy the root system perhaps? Like maybe when you were moving it around, you know, even just losing a couple roots on there, like if those are the newest root growth, your plant isn't going to keep growing and may even lose leaves because it now doesn't have the root system, because they're always sad after.
Devil advocate here, because I'm the one that does mess with some roots, especially if I'm getting a new plant. So I put a lot of things into semi-hydro. I should preface this. And so I have done a lot of messing with roots, especially in like alocasias and stuff. I think you can be quite careful with it. And really be gentle with it. And like, yes, you might get a small bit of loss, but like comparatively, yeah, and like obviously that's such a big step to go over to semi-hydro, but also totally negating that whole thing, which is a whole different story because you're really messing with them there. When I get a new plant, typically it's not in the soil that I would necessarily grow it in, and I want to put it into my own soil, which I am familiar with, and I will do a better job watering it because I'm used to it, and all of my other plants are in this nice soil. So I will just get rid of that old soil. And like obviously I'm not going in and like if it's really tight in there, I'm not just ripping it apart. But like I'll try and get off as much as I can because I don't want, like, you know when you, like, especially from big box stores, it's like, it's all just like straight cocoa core. And like there's no perlite or any aeration in it, and it makes it harder to take care of. Like,
since coming back, literally just take those plants and I put them in a new pot, and then I just add my soil around it, and then I just like call it good. And so far I haven't had any problem, but I'm trying to be less not problematic is the wrong word, less high maintenance this time around. I'm cutting corners in certain places to see if it's like okay. So far everything's doing pretty good. So, but I hate the peat stuff or cocoa coir stuff. It's the worst. I hate touching it. It feels really nasty. Yeah. Okay. Hit me with yours.
Okay, my last one, which I think you might disagree with me on this one as well. So I think that Aurea or yellow variegation most of the time looks like the plant is diseased, pest-ridden, or overwatered. It's yellow. You know, when a plant leaf is dying, it goes yellow. When it has pest damage, it goes yellow.
That's true.
That's true. And then you want that variegation? You want your plant to look yellow? Like, I don't get it. I love white variegation. I absolutely love. I feel like the yellowest I can tolerate is sort of Tycon, because it's not yellow, it's like a cream.
It's cream, yeah.
But
maybe.
Like Aurea variegation, you'll notice in my collection, I don't have any yellow variegation because I think it makes your plant look sick. I'm passionate about this one.
What? That's so fair. I can't even disagree with you or fight you on that, because I totally agree with you, but I think it looks so pretty. Like, I'm looking right now at my Florida Beauty and my Jade Syndapsis Aurea and my Monstera Aurea and my Variegated Biliaceae, and I think they look so good. Like, I used to feel identical to you. I was like, I don't like the yellow variegation. If I don't like it on a golden pothos, I'm not gonna like it on other plants. I feel like elevated. Elevated is one of my favorite words right now, okay? I don't know why. First of all, here's a nice dead leaf, okay? Nice, dead, orange, yellow leaf.
Yeah.
For your viewing purposes. Dead, okay? But also, I'm just gonna show Emma, I'll show you in a second. Like, so pretty on a living plant.
It's the same color. It's the same color.
Look at how weird that variegation looks like. It's so good though.
Like,
it looks like a sunset.
Yeah, okay, so, but the thing is,
it.
if it was in white, I would be here for it. If it had that same exact shape of the variegation in white, yes. But because it's yellow,
so pretty.
My brain says, this is ugly and I don't like it.
Honestly, your brain is just evolved. Not gonna lie. Like, it's a warning sign. Your brain is like looking out for the danger. It's like yellow, bad, dying. Yeah. Perhaps I'm just neglectful, and so maybe I like it because I can't tell when a plant is dying.
No. Like, obviously you can tell the difference if you're looking closely, but like, at a glance from afar.
That's true. You know what? I can't even fault you for that one because you're not wrong. It's definitely the color of a dying plant. But I will raise you that the yellow and orange can photosynthesize. So it's healthier than having an actually white plant.
Okay,
the white cannot photosynthesize.
Okay, I will accept that point as a valid one. I still am not gonna go get myself an Aurea anytime
soon. They grow faster than albo plants, and they can photosynthesize more. And I really like the layered green. I just watched your video last night about how you were talking about how your second favorite Hoya is Hoya Crimson Princess, and I totally agree with you. It is so beautiful, and when you have like the layers fading in, like
green on
to the
green variegation.
See, green on green is the doorway. That's the gateway drug. Because
yellow?
That's how I was. I was like, love green on green. I love a Monstera Sport. Because I found a Sport at a grocery store in 2020.
Oh my god.
Loved it.
Could never do that
But then I was like, what's the difference between green and yellow? Really? Like,
blue.
Think about it. There's really not that much difference.
Blue.
That's a really good hot take. I think that's my favorite hot take you've provided.
Well, saved the best for last.
And I don't even know if it's a hot take. But after growing plants as long as I have, I think the terracotta is the worst type of pot you can put your plant in.
I don't use any terracotta either,
and Yeah, you don't like it?
No.
I just bought these Walmart pots that are kind of going viral right now.
That's a self-watering pot you got there.
This pot, it's kind of a self-watering pot, but it's not actually.
No, but it is.
You can't put water in here.
Why not?
It's like a self-dampening. So
self-dampening pot.
I want to tell you right now, okay? This is the thickest terracotta I have ever encountered in my entire life. There is no way water is actually getting through this to moisten your plant. I've tested it. it doesn't work. It's just like cute. Just like a nice cute pot. Okay, just like kind of kitschy, nice. This shit is the worst. First of all, I kind of liked it for a little bit because I was like, okay, I'm actually having to take care of my plants. I'm having to water them constantly. I have Hoyas in this. I have philodendrons. I have everpremnum. All of my plants, they dry out so fast. And then on top of that, the roots grow into the terracotta. So I have to sometimes like pry the roots off because they stick to it almost like, have you ever taken roots off of like leca or something before? Okay, it's like that, but to the max. Like it like grows, like it tries to grow into it.
Oh my
and
God,
you have to like sometimes it will strip your root off when you pull it. And so I'm actually about to completely move all my plants out of this terracotta.
Yeah.
The only thing that I feel differently about is this pot right here. And this is from Urban Jungle. So this was actually a hanging pot from a big box store. I'll show you. More like cement and less like terracotta. In fact, I think it's cement, but it's just like dyed orange. And this one does not do the same thing. Also, terracotta pots get so moldy. Some people think that the patina on their terracotta is patina. Most of the time, you guys, it's freaking not. If you can touch it and it goes away, you have mold growing on your terracotta. Patina does not rub off.
Gross.
It is like a dyed, like mineral, like
deposit.
Stain. It cannot come off. Yeah, if you're like, oh, look at my patina, and then you touch it and it comes off.
That's disgusting.
That's my terracotta rant, and that's like an educated rant because I have probably like 40 of these pots. Most of my plants are in these pots right now. I'm gonna take them all out and I'm gonna sell these pots on Facebook Marketplace.
That's gonna be a long day.
I know. I was actually crashing out about it last night. I had the same kind of crash out that you had the other day. Your cat and having to move everything around and then realizing you don't have enough space and you have to get rid of plants and now you're overwhelmed. I had that last night exactly because I only have this for my plants. Mm-hmm. And then like this tiny little dresser that's about this big. And I have like some plants out there, but the lighting out there is so bad because we have a patio and it's like a covered one. Yeah. And so all the sun gets blocked. In here, there's no patio and we're on the top floor. So we get full south facing light in here.
Perfect.
But that means that this is the only place I can put plants. And I don't have enough space and everything needs to be repotted. And I have a child that needs me a lot. And so I was just like, Christopher was like, we'll get another shelf. Maybe you should get an IKEA cabinet. I'll watch Kai. You can repot everything. I was like, you're the best.
Oh my God, he seems amazing.
I think that's it. Longest video in the entire world, but I hope you guys had fun hanging out with us.
I did. I just love like being controversial on the internet. Sometimes it's fun.
Well, you guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and my new friend Emma. You can follow her everywhere at Good Growing, and you should also go and watch her video that we made together about trying to influence each other, which, oh my God, I am so excited to film. We're filming it right after we film this one. I'm so excited. So go over there and watch me try to convince her of some plants that I know that she doesn't like. Yeah, follow her too. She got a Patreon. As far as this video goes, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Check out my YouTube channel memberships and also join the Discord. It is required. You must join the Discord. Discord.gg/planting Ashley. Dare I say, I believe that's it. Thank you so much to my YouTube channel members and also Pipcorn, who is the most recent YouTube channel member. Emma and I will just see you in another plant section.